Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Something extra special this week. This is a car called the KODE 57. It was designed by Ken Okuyama, who was head of design at Pininfarina. As you can see, it's just a beautiful sports car. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It has some of the finest Italian automotive jewelry in it, you could say. I mean, this is a real car. This is not a kit car or anything of that nature. It's a car that he designed himself, and he's probably the best person to tell you about it. Ken, come on in. Good to see you again, my friend.
Great to see you, Jay.
You haven't been here in about 15 years.
About 15 years ago, right, when I went to Art Center College with students.
Right, you came with the students and everything. Well, this could be your thesis. This is pretty amazing. Tell us what we have here.
As you mentioned, I was in Italy for 12 years.
Right.
And I've done a lot of things, I've learned so many things, but the coach building is a great culture.
Right.
And nowadays, people are not satisfied enough with the production cars. So we've done one commissioned by the owner. Actually, taking the theme from 1957 Ferrari Testarossa.
Right.
It has a pontoon fender, but with the modern technology, kind of wanted to revive that theme in the modern era. And you see this using an Italian V12 engine and a chassis, but the whole body is carbon fiber, everything. So we just made this just for the owner.
Right. So you're with Pininfarina for 12 years now. It's Ken Okuyama Design, correct? You have your own company.
I do now, right.
That's got to feel pretty good.
Well, I've got about 50 people to feed.
Yeah.
Feels good, but every day you wake up and think about, well,
Are they all Americans? That's going to cost you some money to feed. Yeah.
Well, we have this company in Japan, so
okay. So
a little sushi.
Don't
and
eat quite so much.
lighter.
Yeah, that's all right. So very good. Well, it's just a stunning design. So a customer commissioned this car. Is that how it worked?
Right. When you look at the car, you just tend to talk about specs and just the final results of the hardware, right?
Right.
But the whole thing is a total experience. Owner came to me about 3 years ago, and to build the car only takes 6 months. But to design this, we had so many dinner, conversation, and actually I had to teach him how to draw because he had this dream car in his mind for so many years. But kind of went through the whole experience of designing and developing the entire car from scratch.
Right.
Nobody's done it. So it's like going to school.
Right.
And over so many bottles of wine, and we had so many sketches together. Then after that, we just a clay model, and digitizing and the engineering, the whole thing was almost like 2 years of the whole process.
Right. And that's really what makes a good designer. They don't know what they want until you present it to them. To me, there's nothing funnier than when you look back at designs from the 20s and 30s when customers would come in and tell bodybuilders and designers, LeBaron, I want this, and just these horrible, awful looking cars because they have no sense of proportion. It's like I'm that way. I could never design a car, but I could tell you what I sort of like. Oh, yes, that's exactly what I like.
Right.
You can make their dream come true, which is an amazing ability to person have no idea. They kind of have an idea what they like, but it's not until you show it to them that they really get it.
It's kind of like I've been to so many focus group, marketing with the research, but by showing the picture, by even showing the exact car, maybe that's going to come out in 2 years in the future, or maybe 5 years in the future. You don't know what kind of lifestyle you're going to have in 5 years.
Right.
You can't really show them exactly what they're going to have, if they want to have or not. It's almost like I say always, thinking about the birthday present for somebody important to you, and maybe 5 years down the road.
Right. I get it.
You can't ask that person what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, he really liked the car that I worked on in 2000, which called Ferrari Rossa.
Okay.
That was a show car from Pininfarina. And it kind of asked me if I could just rebuild that car. And I said, no, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Pininfarina and Ferrari. And just we discussed that what if you take a modern Italian car and build a whole new body and a design? What if you kept working on it based on the Rossa theme, and also which was based on 1957 Testarossa.
Right.
They had a beautiful pontoon fender. So I kind of liked the idea. So okay, that I can do, and start sketching together. He gave me some sketches too, and I have to correct some.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can design really well too, but I have to correct that.
I wouldn't bet any money on that. Yeah.
But I'm like a chef.
Yeah.
So people come to the restaurant, maybe they want this food and that, and maybe they can bring even the ingredients. But I have a recipe to cook that, the best meal out of that. That's my job.
Right. Tell me about that, coming from Japan to Italy. That's sort of a culture shock, I imagine.
Well,
did you speak any Italian when you got there?
Actually, funny enough, in fact, I was in the States already.
Okay.
And in fact, working for General Motors, I loved the job, but I said before I go, I got to do what I really like to do. It was to design Ferrari, was to design and live in Italy. So I went there buying my own ticket, economy class, and I went there, knocked on the door because I sent letters. There was no email at that time.
Right.
And no response for about 6 months. I said, no, I'm going to buy a ticket and go there. Went there, knocked on the door, and the chief designer came out of Pininfarina. And we had a, I think it's a good conversation, but I couldn't tell because that was all in Italian.
Right.
And I think he gave me an offer, but I couldn't tell. So I came back here and went to the Italian school full-time in Santa Monica for 3 months. And after 3 months of studying Italian, I was pretty fluent.
Right.
Then after that, I bought another ticket, went back to Italy, and had a second interview. But the design director, Mr. Lorenzo Ramaciotti, came out. He spoke fluent English.
Oh, that's funny.
I wasted my 3 months of time.
That's funny.
But after that, I got an official offer and started working there. But amazingly, there's a common elements in Japanese and Italian culture, and it was good.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you were the first Japanese person to work for Pininfarina, yes?
First and the last.
Yeah, first and the last.
So far.
Wow. Yeah. But it's fine because what's interesting. When I look at cars, I can see Italian influence and Japanese influence. That's what's interesting to me when I look at the back of some Japanese car, and it looks like almost kabuki theater the way that the tail lights go, or it looks like I mean, at least I think I see Japanese influence. But
if
can't
you
really
do too
tell.
much of that, it becomes kind of a fashion statement. It becomes superficial. But I think simplicity is something that lies in common between Japanese and Italian culture.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, I used to work for General Motors for almost 10 years. And in lunchtime, I used to go to a library and sketched all the Pontiacs and the Chevrolets and the Cadillacs of the 50s and 60s. By the time you sketch so many of them, copying them, you learn kind of like a design language of each one of them. You see the difference between Pontiac and Chevrolet.
Yeah.
And I think you learn from copying, then you learn not so much in left side of your brain, but at right side of your brain with hands. So I kind of did the same thing with Ferrari and the Italian design and learned so much from that.
I always like designs that are one person's vision. Because when you have a focus group, some people hate it, some people love it.
Yeah.
And then you wind up with a Toyota Corolla, which is a very nice car,
but
it's just a car. It doesn't excite the passion. I remember when they came out with the Viper, Chrysler said half the people hated it, half the people loved it. We don't care about the people that hate it. We're going to sell it to people that love it, and that type of thing, So that's what's fascinating. You come up with something, and this is basically one man's vision with a few.
It is. I don't believe even until now Ferrari puts their design on cars in a focus group and do market research before they put it in the market. I think I do believe that we all like the heritage of the company and how the founder started the company and the racing story and all that. It's all in your blood. If you don't like it, you can go buy something else.
Right.
And you're not gonna make any more than, for example, this one is just one, but we could actually build 4 more. And we are building actually number 2, number 3, number 4 car in Japan right now.
Oh, is that right?
One more, that's it.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next project. 5 people, you can easily find them without doing focus groups. So.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, because I can usually tell when something is designed by computer or designed by hand. Looks computer, but I believe you do this by hand. Because to me, that sort of curve is not, when I see things done on computer, it's all very much this way. This has a bit of flow to it, a bit of curve to it. Because there's not a straight line anywhere on this car, is there?
No,
I mean, it's all flowing and curves. It's very fluid-like. It's really something.
Well, actually, it's just like you said, combination of all manual and some digital work.
Yeah.
Because all the sketches, you do manually. When you sketch, it's amazing actually. You think about something, you start doing the drawings or sketches. your hands give you the ideas that you couldn't even imagine
Right,
by
right.
accident. Accidental kind of inspiration comes
Yeah, yeah.
not even from your brain. Your body gives you by
Right.
accident some of the great ideas. That's so, you know, beautiful aspect of doing drawings that we've been doing for I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 years, maybe
Right.
more than that. But funny enough, this one, like you said, has a lot of manual elements in it, but technology is all digital because I love working clay model, and we do about quarter scale clay model, about this big.
Right.
When you do that, if you just do from nothing, you kind of get a rough model, and you really have to redo when you actually do the construction of the
Right.
one size model like this one. But the way we do is we do a base chassis. If it's based on some production car, we do the modification and you completely finish everything, then digitize it and do 3D printing in quarter scale. Then onto that, we put clay on it, and you work on it. So you hit something, there's a chassis, there's an engine.
Right.
And no cheating, precise scale model in clay. Then after that, you finish that, you actually do scanning, put in the digital data, then you refine it. Then after that, you mill either a full-size model or a negative mold, then start making all the carbon fiber panels.
And you did the wheels as well, correct?
Yeah, we work with a company called Novitec, a German company, for the souping up the engine, and based on that, we designed this wheel.
Gotcha.
Right there.
And this is carbon fiber, or?
It's a mix of carbon fiber, and some part is a sandwich of a fiberglass and carbon fiber, both
Okay.
of them.
Okay.
Then second car actually doing with the carbon fiber with called infusion. We
Okay.
put some vacuum chamber and take all the resin, excessive resin.
I mean,
out
it's
of it.
just beautifully done. Now, obviously, wheelbase, powertrain, that's all stock. Have you modified that as well?
Yes and no. Actually, wheelbase, yes, but the tread, we completely redid our own suspension.
Oh, okay.
And the part of the chassis is, well, I don't even say heavily modified. We made all the subframes, cooling systems, fuel systems, everything's just for this car. So
And this is obviously rollover protection as well?
it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, functional, not just, a piece put on there. Very nice.
Yeah.
And I love the freestanding taillight. I mean, that's fantastic.
Aerodynamic.
The Chrysler Imperial had that remember for a while. They had the taillight.
Oh
that stood
yes,
up. Yeah.
I didn't copy that, but
No, no,
now
I don't do. And the 59, they had the headlights in the
Right,
front.
right,
as well.
right, yeah, yeah,
Come
now
around
I-
back here. Let's take a look at the rear of the vehicle here. Pretty amazing. And this is a fully functional road car.
It
That's
is.
what's great about it. It's not
Yeah.
some design exercise that is completely impractical, like a runway model in a crazy outfit. I mean, this is a real car that the owner can use and drive.
It's a very interesting. In fact, you mentioned that this is the area that production car and a race car and maybe show cars.
Yeah.
And right in between that, among the triangle. So it's for us really hard to find people who are capable of developing something like this. It's got to look good.
Yeah.
It's got to go on a show stand, but it's got to run full speed, everything, acceleration, full speed, everything. So and it's got to run like a race car.
Yeah. Well, it's just a beautiful design, and the wraparound windshield as well.
It's a polycarbonate,
Yeah.
and lighter than the glass, and it still gives you the protection. Kind of looks like also a GT car and racer in 50s as well.
And of course, the 6-speed transmission.
Yep.
These look like doors, but they don't open.
This is in case you want to go on circuit, race day or something. There is another extension of aluminum that you can mount on.
Oh, I see.
Just to get extra protection.
Oh, I see. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
I don't mean to criticize, but nowadays car design is getting so complicated. People talk about character lines and grills and the
Yeah.
branding. But, I think I like the simplicity of cars in 50s and 60s and even certain cars in 70s.
Right.
I'm sure you do too.
yeah. I mean, I find now that the branding is, I don't want to say the car, but they make the front end so obvious, so you know what it is, that it's ruined the line of the car.
Exactly. The point is, many cars are meant to be beautiful and has a beautiful proportion, but just to be different, you almost have to put a different makeup.
Right. Right.
And that is a shame because
Yeah.
someone who has a beautiful skin, everything, and why do you have to put on makeup? I mean,
That's
that's
right.
not a criticism, but
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, because if it's a beautiful car, people will find out what it is. and seek it out.
Yeah.
You know, they want to learn, they want to know. I even like your script on the side with your name.
Funny enough, well, I came here 15 years ago as art center department chairman, but I was student, but another 15 years before that. First class I went into, a teacher told me, you design your own signature. And I designed that one.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, right, I'll never use this. Sure enough, he was right. I kept using this.
No, I think
a
it's
company
great,
logo.
and plus it personalizes the car to me. I enjoy seeing that. I like that.
And Pininfarina has a beautiful, its own logo. And you really have to put that on. You have to be in charge of the whole design team and the entire project. Then Mr. Pininfarina has to stand next to you, and at the end, you come here and put on that logo. That's the moment that becomes official.
Right.
And I love that moment.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
fascinating. Okay, now this does not lift up, right? Because no
It's bolted on,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it comes off, but not with the hinges.
And this is your gas filler here.
It is. It is
And
actual.
this is just designed, or there's no, what is here?
Oh, this is the high-mounted taillight.
Oh, okay.
And my logo, Ken
Okay.
Okuyama, which is by accident, has the same logo as all my eyewear,
Oh.
and watches, and other products
Okay.
that I designed too,
Oh, just by accident.
by
Ah,
accident.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
see, we're a design company.
Right.
And of course, we are coach builder as well, but as a design company, we have about 50 people
Yeah.
and to feed. But
So you do industrial design.
we
as
do a lot of
well.
Shinkansen,
Yeah.
bullet trains. We do many older, eyewear watches and
Right.
the architecture, public transport. We do a lot
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
But automobiles, such a beautiful object.
Yeah.
It has all the elements in it: watches, furniture, sculpture elements, architectural elements, everything. So when you work on this, our designers really learn from this one. And also, it's a brand icon for our Ken Okuyama design. So we do this for almost a pleasure. You
Yeah.
know, I said,
This is the fun part. Yeah.
right, I don't have to build cars for a living, but we do for pleasure. Pleasure of sharing
Yeah.
this, generating some beauty that could remain in history book, but with the maybe customers that I like to work with.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like to like that person.
Yeah, I know what you mean. To me, one of my favorite designs was the Coke bottle. It just looks,
Raymond Loewy.
yeah, holds your hand, and it just looks
Functional.
perfect. It's
Yeah.
recognizable the
It
world
is.
over
It
by,
is.
and you can speak any language and know what that is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I think every designer strives for. You have something that becomes,
I agree.
in every language,
That was designed
recognizable.
60, almost 70 years ago.
Yeah, something
when
like
you think
that.
about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So I like to do the same thing, but I think, because of the branding and corporate strategy nowadays, we need to really design production for mass market.
Right.
Here, we don't have to do this.
Right, right.
It looks simple, but when you come here and when you look at, kneel down and see this line, it's almost straight, very simple. Another line that goes right into the, inside of the fender, the nose. And inside of the fender, actually, all the wheel, we call this a wheel envelope.
Right.
It doesn't touch the fender. Connecting all those dots and making this one line is not that easy, actually.
No, it's not. You know, the one thing I learned as I get older, no job is simple. Everybody thinks everybody else's job is simple. Like I would get that. Well, you just show up on TV, you tell a couple of jokes. No, you spend all day writing some stupid jokes like that. You know, I mean, it takes all day to design and do things. But the idea, if you can make people think it's simple, then you've done your job. When people see a
Exactly.
curve like, well, how hard is it to go like I say to people, draw a circle. Well, it's always, they can't. But some
No,
people
no,
can
it's
draw
possible.
a circle, you know? And it's the same thing. When you look down, like you say, when you look down, look how many intersecting lines they are, and where they intersect, it gives you the whole personality of the car too. Is it too soon? Is it too far behind the door? I mean, it's just beautifully done. And like I say, there's not, well, you couldn't use a ruler to design any of this because there's not a straight line in it. Everything just flows. That's what's fantastic
Luigi
about it.
Polani said there's no straight line in the universe.
Yeah, I guess
tend
that's
to
true. I guess that's
agree
true.
with that. But I think, just like you said, if you do your job well, it looks simple.
Yeah.
And design the same thing. If you simplify too much, you get bored.
Right.
Leaving all the conflicting elements, but you refine them so much. It looks simple, but when you analyze what it is, it's not that simple. I
right.
think good design is that way.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
cars you have here
Yeah.
is the same thing.
It's fantastic. Now, a lot of people might not know that you designed the Enzo, correct?
Enzo, yes.
Yeah.
With his name.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty amazing. Are there any, do I see Enzo elements here, or is that just my imagination?
Not purpose, but some people said the front kind of resembles the Enzo, the nose configuration,
Right.
and the way that the wing kind of spreads toward the bottom. But actually it came from all functional reasons. This Enzo is a double radiator, the mid-engine car.
Right.
This one's the front engine, and the single radiator sits right in the middle. When you see there's a hard edge here,
Right.
right inside of half-inch inside, there's a radiator that sits right in that exact angle, takes air and from the bottom and comes out from the top. And the side, all those two intakes on the side, takes and cools the brakes and the exit from the side without creating any lift. So
Wow.
that's all from functional reasons, and it became this way.
Do you have a favorite area of the car that you're most proud of as your favorite part of the car design-wise? You know what I mean? Or is it just the whole car?
Well, I like the exposed engine.
Right.
Engine is the probably the most beautiful part of any automobile. Takes like 20,000 pieces of all the components and everything, and it runs so well. And engine really shows the identity of the company.
Right, right.
And the sounds and the shape and everything. So I decided to expose it instead of hiding it. But the original '57 Testarossa had the trumpet that was
Right.
exposed and had a clear,
the plastic
clear
thing. Yeah,
cover
sure,
on top
sure.
of that.
Sure, sure.
This is almost like a modern, interpretation of that one. That engine runs into the cabin. You can see the carbon fiber that lines flows into the interior. So driver is completely, in a way, integrated with all the mechanicals, and you're being part of the car. So that was sort of the concept.
Well, I love that idea because, to me, my favorite thing about opening any mid-60s Ferrari is seeing the Weber carburetors and, so to have it up like this
beautiful.
exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, why do you hide it?
It shows the mechanicalness of the car.
Yeah.
I like the simple mirrors.
Yep.
Very
That's
nicely
from
done, not overly exaggerated.
carbon fiber and billet aluminum.
Yeah.
But all for reasons it's there. And also headlight, for example. Nowadays, with the projector headlight, we can buy them off shelf in production. And using this is digital technology with a 3D printer. We just make one of headlight like this one and completely street legal.
Wow.
Oh.
Did you design this car in Japan or in the United States or in Italy?
On the plane.
Oh, on the plane.
Kind of back and forth. Well, again, in a restaurant with the owner, but
Yeah.
I do a lot of traveling. I came here last night, leaving tonight. So
Is that right? Oh, man.
came for this show.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Because it seems like the cocktail napkin has played a bigger role in car design than anything. Because every time what's the initial design? Well, we had a cocktail napkin, not a McDonald's napkin, not a Burger King. There's always a cocktail napkin, and they always have that initial sketch. Gordon Murray, I think, was at the airport, and he designed the F1 as a cocktail napkin. So apparently drinks and cocktails play a huge role.
Same here. Same here at the airport lounge.
And we can drive it?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, cool. How cool is this? This is the only one. Oh, there may be more.
Well, for more, but no problem at all. All right.
It's fun to be in a modern car that's so open. That's the great thing about vintage
It is
cars
interesting, right?
from
Combination.
the 50s, 60s. You've got a high sill and you've got, all these buttresses going this way and that way.
Well, that's the whole concept behind it. It has even AC in it.
Yeah. You almost feel like you're in a speedboat.
Speed racer.
Yeah. This is a sports car.
It is. Real sports and driving.
This was my favorite part of the old XKSS.
Oh yeah,
they had the
same lines. And modern cars don't have this kind of openness, as you said. Same as a speedboat, right? But that's the whole idea. Just get openness. Sterling Moss came over last year to see this car, and he really loved it. He sat in the car and Sir Sterling Moss.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
your car.
They're like this.
You feel like you're driving an arrow from a bow, you know?
Pretty much. You mentioned proportion. Proportion is everything about car design.
Yeah.
And now it's so ignored.
But that's the first time you've sat there?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. How do you like it?
In motion. It's hot. This is a little bit like Italian hot rod.
I know it is. But it really evokes the spirit
Yeah.
of the early cars, you
Right.
know?
57.
I just love the openness of it. It's what's so fantastic.
Nothing like this.
I mean, you feel like you're in a 57 Testarossa with all of this. Well, what an exciting car to drive. I mean, it just brings back all the thrills of cars in the 50s and 60s. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And this windshield is fantastic. Come on, let's drive this thing tomorrow and we'll head back to the garage. And this is going on a plane back to Japan, right?
Yeah, right.
No! Boy, just sing.
So the engine sound is part of the character of the car and the
Exactly.
brand. Ferrari engines sound nothing like Aston Martin and the
No.
Lamborghini. They're all different.
Yeah.
And
So someone could come to you with a car like this and say, could you design a body for me? And you could do it, right?
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I need to like that person.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with that person for a good 2 years.
And you really need someone who understands.
Yeah.
You know, so many of these car shows, they rebuild a car in a weekend and people think, you know, oh, you can do it like that, you know.
Yeah, well,
But you grew up teenager in Japan, correct?
yeah.
You didn't come here till college, right?
No, not until 82. Went to Art Center.
Oh, okay.
So, watching Skyline and, you know, those cars. But
Yeah.
boy, when I saw a Porsche 911 Turbo for the first time in my life in Japan, that was eye-opener. So the interior trimming and everything is done in-house.
Right.
We have a nice young lady who does all the work. And aluminum pieces are all billet or milled
Yeah, it's beautiful.
off the data, so
And very solid.
yeah, it is. Second car is going to be even more solid, actually.
Yeah.
We wanted to make it, you know, even more durable, so.
Hi, doll. Give me some of that air conditioning. Well, it's another hot day here in California, but I don't care because I got to drive this thing. This is pretty amazing. It really captures the spirit of the mid-50s and mid-60s Ferraris. I see why you call it a Code 57, because that was the last year of the Mille Miglia, right?
Exactly, yeah, when the race cars and sports cars are the same animal.
Right, and you drive something like this, so open, so out there, yet with modern mechanicals and modern brakes and even air conditioning, it's just a beautiful design. It's really something. Ken, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Go to Ken's website and you can check out some of the other things he does. And if you got one of these and you want him to make you one, I don't know, if he likes you, he might make you one, right?
I have to like that person.
He has to like the person.
Yep.
Notice he's not making one for me. I don't know what that means. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.